It's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You've stumbled upon Creeping with Armstrong.
10, 9, we have ignition sequence start. Engines on, 5, 4, 3, 2, all engines running. 9 seconds, liftoff. We have liftoff, 49 minutes past the hour. Status reports the clock has started.
Alright, cool.
Hello.
Sound quality's okay. Okay, let me just check it's recording. 1 minute.
Okay.
Yeah, cool.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Cool. Okay, well, right, explain. Do you want to explain to the listeners? Because it's recorded anyway. Do you want to explain what's
Okay.
happening?
Hello, everyone. Hello to our legions of fans, both of them, as always, and welcome to the latest Creeping with Armstrong podcast, which is the much-delayed one, purely and entirely down to me, I'm afraid, ladies and gentlemen. And that's because I'm about nipple high in work at the moment, if not higher. Since the start of the new school year, I have had an awful lot more responsibility of stuff to do at school. I've had to take on an extra 4 classes, which now means I teach 21 different classes a week. And also, in my new sort of pastoral role, which is basically keeping an eye on the little toe rags, one of the things I have to do is obviously spend like an hour before school and an hour after school sorting them out and making sure everyone and parents are happy and everything. As a result, this has meant that all that time that when I'd be at school normally marking books and things like that, I'm not doing, which means I'm just having to do them in the evening. And on top of that, add that into the extra classes, all of which need to be marked and what have you. It's just been a recipe for utter disaster at my end. Some nights I've just been sort of working late-ish, and then like break out the violin's sympathy moment. The worst one was I came home on the one Wednesday night when I thought.
Think about you retiring into a darkened room
And that's right. I'm having to wash my wrists.
Yes. What's your wrists under the tap?
That's right. Yeah. So I just came home and thought, I feel absolutely shattered and done in. But I thought, I'll just go and have like a little hour's power nap before I'll do anything else. And I went and lie down on the bed. The next thing I knew, I woke up and it was 4 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. And I thought, oh Jesus! So I thought I might as well go back to sleep now. So I'd had like sort of 12 hours sleep, and it was. So all in all told, I've been a busy little boy at the moment. So the 2 times that Ross has valiantly and very bravely tried to sort out a recording date for us, I've had to let him down twice, as indeed I've had to let a lot of people down recently. But thanks to the magic of technology and the fact that I finally have broadband at home, which is great.
All that extra porn. It's incredible.
I wasn't going to say that.
No wonder he's fallen asleep at 7 o'clock at night. The man is drained. He's just a walking husk.
But no, what it's meant is that that now things like Skype, which I hadn't even heard of before, after slight teething problems at the start, inevitably at my end, of course the problems are going to be at my end. We've now got it up and running, and as if by magic, free phone call and all new poltergeist-style Creeping with Armstrong. We don't even have to be in the same room anymore.
I'm just staring at the glowing screen, as in poltergeist. I might have to go and tell my girlfriend that James is here at the minute. It's quite terrifying. You watch X Factor?
I'll tell you what. I watched a couple of the auditions once, and I'm so cynical about the entire thing. Because I don't know if I told you this, but I know somebody that went up for one of the auditions. It wasn't me, believe it or not, it wasn't actually me. But somebody said that you have to go through about 6 loads of people before you even get close to the judges and everything, which is understandable. So whenever they go, who's this coming on here now? Look at this, like 3-toothed lunatic and what have you. This is all sort of part of the show in inverted commas. It's also horribly manipulated. And I thought they probably know within the first week who the final 3 are going to be, and all the rest of it. And I did notice that like the one that I saw where the girl came on and inevitably her mum was dead, and the dad was stood outside going, it would mean so much to me if she could get through. And like normally, like when they just turn up, they say, "Who are you? Why do you think you've got the X Factor?" But like this girl comes in, why have you come here today? What's your reason for wanting to come on here? And you think, oh, this is all so horribly set up.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, she's obviously going to be one of the stories of this series. So unfortunately, mate, my cynicism button gets pressed.
She didn't get through. I think that, like you said, unfortunately, this is Cheryl. We can only take your dead mum so far. I think we're going to have to let you go. But they did let a man with a dead wife free. But they've done him up and he looks like Ricky Gervais now. A bit terrifying. But yeah, it was one of the things I was going to say was have you seen the intro to it? Well, to X, when it starts the opening titles, it looks like I like that big like X which flies in from space, and I always reckon that's Simon Cowley's big X-shaped spaceship where he's sort of like crucified like St. Andrew flying through space, coming down to all these screaming fans. But it's almost like, and now they're taking people off to the judges' houses. It's almost like we take these mere mortals up to the Mount Olympus in order to
Yes.
Yeah, and like they're all dressed up, looking a bit like Greek gods and stuff, and they're not allowed to get close, and they've got to stand really far away from them, or they appear on a balcony to them. And it's just so, I don't know.
But rather than being given the gift of fire, they're being given the option of having the Christmas number one.
Yeah.
Because that's the other thing I hate about it now. Who's going to be the Christmas number one? Whoever wins X Factor.
Yeah.
Rubbish. Absolutely rubbish. Where are we ever going to get, like, you know, say, for example, a mistletoe and wine coming again? I'm a big fan of the seasonal Christmas record, and, you know, it's over, really, until they stop doing X Factor. We're just going to have to listen to some useless second-rate R&B nonsense, aren't we, every Christmas?
Are you still a fan of the Christmas festival song after working at Toys R Us for a couple of years?
No, absolutely.
Frosty the Snowman starts playing in October. And,
yeah, that's right.
It does make you a bit sick when you hear the music come around and get your flashbacks to crawling around in cardboard.
Cardboard-related hell.
Yeah.
There were a couple of times, you know, where I did think, like I said, part of my Christmas responsibilities at Toys R Us was unloading this seemingly endless truck of hell of stuff made in China, obviously. And sometimes they come in the biggest cardboard boxes ever, and there were a couple of points where I thought, you know, I could just go and sell these to homeless people. This would be like your 10-bedroom mansion with you know, ensuite jacuzzis, a steam room, and a sauna for them, because they're huge. And I thought they'd be laughing if they got one of these. But you know, it was a madman fantasy.
Sort of spoil my enjoyment a little bit, but not too much of You've Been Framed, because when there are sort of motor vehicle accidents, I do know that the individual selling points of each of these little red trucks which have been driven into the wall and stuff. And I think, oh well, that could have fallen out if the safety belt was attached as per the instructions.
You've only got yourselves to blame there. So what else has been going on your end? What have you, of late? Because we barely even talked. Because our new catchphrase now is really just to say, save it for the podcast.
Yeah.
Save it for the podcast, man, so we can just surprise the hell out of each other. Because I've got a big-ish one for you.
Okay.
And
Well, did you see David Blaine?
What? Yeah, but that's what. Now you see,
I couldn't work out if it was meant to look like he's been floated away on balloons, or if he was meant to be levitating.
I want Derran Brown to go over there and sort him out.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, because you know,
A wizard's
there's
duel.
like a good old-fashioned wizard's duel. Because you know, when you see Derran Brown do stuff, you think, oh, that's brilliant. And even if you know full well that it's not actual magic, but you think that's some excellent sort of craft going on there now. With David Blaine, you think, you know, in the old days, he used to make it look like, you know, he'd cut off chickens' heads and all sorts, wasn't it? It was all very proper, exciting magic. And now you just think, that's rubbish. You're just hanging about. You just stood up things. Or you're underwater. Or you're a little bit high up. What's he going to do? Is he going to ride his, you know, is he going to ride his bike?
Someone like got a hamburger and flew up with a helicopter and flew it around his self-imposed starvation box.
Whilst the drunken Paul McCartney taunted him. That was the best bit about that. That Paul McCartney, drunk, went up and started having a go at him.
Really?
And a reporter spotted McCartney, and they said, Paul, what are you doing here? And his normal thumbs aloft back of friendliness dropped. He went, somebody looking at me, like, I'm only here to see this. Followed by a very strong swear word that begins with C. I just want to see what he's up to, you know. He's a bloody idiot. No, and you just think, wow, you know, David Blaine, he's driven us all mad. But yeah, I did see it, but I did think that's a lot of old nonsense there, isn't it? You think people are easily distracted.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
You've stumbled upon Creeping with Armstrong.